Let me say something that sounds crazy until you experience it yourself. When you're on retention, women will look at you when they think you can't see them. Not to flirt, not to smile, not to get your attention. They look to read you. They're not admiring. They're assessing, trying to understand what changed, trying to locate the source of the pressure they're feeling. Because something about you stopped leaking. Your energy isn't spilling outward anymore. It's contained. And now it presses outward quietly. That containment creates tension. And tension draws the eye before the mind catches up. If you've noticed this happening, the glances, the double takes, the watching from the side, this video is going to explain exactly why it's happening. More importantly, it's going to explain how most men destroy this advantage the moment they become aware of it, by trying to act different instead of remaining the same. Reason 1. Your eyes stop asking questions. Most men's eyes are constantly asking for something. Even when they say nothing, their gaze asks, "Do you like me? Am I enough? Am I approved?" That silent seeking is felt instantly. It shows up as scanning for reactions, holding eye contact too long, breaking it too quickly, adjusting behavior based on feedback. On retention, your gaze changes, not because you're trying to look dominant, but because you're no longer needing an answer. You're not seeking reassurance. You're not searching faces for validation. You're not reacting emotionally to beauty or attention. Your eyes stop chasing information. They become still, observant, undecided, and that undecided quality is powerful. Women watch you because your eyes don't plead or request. Your attention isn't given automatically. You don't emotionally lock in when you notice them. There's no hunger behind the look. That creates a subtle imbalance because most men look to receive. You look to perceive, and that shift from seeking to observing pulls attention far more than intensity ever could. Intensity tries to convince. Stillness invites curiosity. Reason 2. You're no longer chasing visual validation. Most men don't realize how much of their energy is spent checking reactions, checking reflections, checking whether they're being noticed. That constant scanning broadcasts need, even when nothing is said. When you stop scanning women for approval, they start scanning you. Retention removes the hunger from your eyes. You're no longer looking to be chosen. You're no longer adjusting posture for attention. You're no longer trying to place yourself inside someone else's field of awareness. Your attention turns inward and forward, not outward and reactive. And paradoxically, that's what makes you noticeable. Women watch you when you're not looking because you're not visually needy. Your attention isn't easy to steal. You don't react automatically to beauty or proximity. There's no rush in you, no grasping, no urgency to be seen. That flips the polarity, because attention flows toward what isn't asking for it. Now you are the question, not through effort, but through absence of need. Reason 3, your movements become economical. This one is subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. On retention, men stop leaking energy through unnecessary motion, not because they're trying to be calm, but because their nervous system isn't overstimulated anymore. You move slower, with intention, without excess expression, without urgency, without needing to fill space. There's no fidgeting, no compulsive gestures, no bouncing leg, no restless shifting to manage internal tension. Your body no longer asks for attention. It assumes presence. Most men move too much because they're internally noisy. Their bodies are translating mental chaos into motion. Retention removes that chaos. So your movements shrink, but your presence expands. Women watch you because your body language is minimal. Your posture stays composed even when nothing is happening. Every movement feels like a decision, not a reflex. You don't burn energy to be noticed. When you turn your head, it's unhurried. When you walk, it's grounded. When you sit, you occupy the space fully. Nothing looks accidental. Stillness with purpose reads as self-command, and self-command signals internal authority. Authority doesn't chase attention, it creates gravity. That's why women don't just glance, they observe. They're subconsciously asking, why is he so comfortable doing nothing? Why doesn't he need to perform? Why does he look like he's already decided? Because men who control their energy also control their direction. And that kind of control is rare. If you want to understand why this happens, not just experience it randomly, this is exactly what I break down in the Semen Retention Attraction Formula. It's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about mastering the energy that changes how people respond to you without you saying a word. If you want to go deeper and actually command this presence intentionally, the link is pinned.
Reason 4. Your emotional signals go quiet. Most men leak emotion constantly, not just through words, but through tone, posture, micro-reactions, and urgency. Excitement shows up too fast. Insecurity leaks through over-explaining. Desire is broadcast through attention. Frustration escapes through tension and reactivity. All of that is emotional noise. Retention seals those leaks. You still feel everything, but you stop externalizing it. Your emotions move inward instead of outward. They're processed, not projected. And that changes how women experience you. Women watch you because they can't immediately read your emotional state. Your reactions don't confirm or deny their influence. You don't reward behavior with instant feedback. There's no emotional loop for them to latch onto. No reassurance, no escalation, no emotional mirroring. Your inner world feels contained, not chaotic. And containment is rare. Most men are emotionally accessible by default. You become selectively accessible. That creates a tension they don't consciously understand. Mystery isn't silence. Mystery isn't being distant. Mystery is contained emotion, emotion that exists but doesn't spill. And when emotion is contained, attention follows, because curiosity is born where access is limited. Reason 5. You're unreactive. And that's the test. Women don't watch you only out of attraction. They watch to see what moves you. They're reading for emotional leverage, for responsiveness, for cracks in your composure. Retention creates emotional neutrality, not numbness, control. You don't react to attention disinterest, subtle disrespect tests, flirtation meant to pull a response, and that absence of reaction is loud, because it forces a subconscious question she can't ignore. Can I influence him? Most men answer that question immediately, without words. They react, they shift, they lean forward emotionally. You don't. That's why the polarity splits. Some women will lean in closer, increase proximity, escalate attention, test again, just to confirm it wasn't a fluke. Others will pull back, feel unsettled, sense a lack of control, lose interest once they realize you're not emotionally adjustable. Same man, same energy, different internal wiring. This isn't about dominance or detachment. It's about emotional self-possession. Retention doesn't make you cold. It makes you ungovernable. And when a man can't be easily moved, every reaction becomes a choice, not a reflex. The moment you notice women watching you,
Your ego wants to step in. It wants to do something with the attention, to adjust, to capitalize, to control the outcome. That's where most men lose the edge. They start performing the very thing that was working naturally. They force mystery instead of embodying depth, act colder than they actually are, perform indifference instead of staying regulated, and the moment it becomes a performance, the signal collapses. Retention works only when you don't act like you're retaining. The power isn't in the posture, the stare, or the silence. It's in the internal order that made those things unnecessary. Attraction doesn't come from behavior, it comes from alignment. Women don't watch men who try to be interesting. They don't track men who chase intrigue. They watch men who are internally governed. Men whose emotions aren't negotiating for approval. Men whose attention isn't reactive or for sale. And here's the part most men misunderstand. Retention doesn't make you visible. It doesn't make you flashy. It doesn't put a spotlight on you. It makes you unignorable because your presence no longer asks for permission to exist.